Rachel joins us now from St Albans. Rachel, fantastic investigation, but people will watch that, as I did, and be absolutely furious with the situation.
Yeah, and I think it's completely understandable. There are many people who are furious with this situation, whether it is the farmers involved. I mean, just look at this mess which surrounds me here. There are some 40 sites, 40 loads, van loads worth that have been dumped in this one farmer's field alone. And as you heard in the report, it could cost him up to £50,000 to clear it up. But also this is, of course, a blight on the environment, and it does a huge amount of damage just to the local councils, to their coffers, the huge amount it costs for them to investigate and also to clear it up when it happens on public land as well. We're all suffering really when it comes to this issue, while we know that the criminals behind it, well, they're only making money. They are only benefiting from this. And you can see some of the waste here. Obviously, you'll have seen it in the report. Let me tell you, what the pictures don't convey is the smell. There is clearly food or some sort of waste that is rotting here. It absolutely reeks, and it just stretches on and on all the way through this field. We know there's things like contaminated waste here. There's also things like building rubble. So you can see shrubbery and trees from gardens, all sorts. Now, I'm joined also here tonight two men, Will Dickinson, a local farmer, and I know you know the farmer who owns this field, and also Councillor Paul de Court, leader of the local St Albans Council. Will, I want to start with you, because obviously this is an issue that affects farmers. Is this something that affects you, and how much of a problem is fly tipping, organised fly tipping?
Fly tipping is a perennial, constant problem. 87% of farmers have suffered fly tipping of some sort in the last year. And so it just continues all the time, every day.
And when you see this field and you know the bill that the farmer has received, possibly to have to clear it up, what impact is that going to have on his business, on his ability to keep going?
When I spoke to the farmer here, he was really, really down about it. It's just an awful lot of money, and right now, with everything else, it's really just not there. The money's just not there. And the fact that he's a victim of crime, and because he's a victim of crime, he then has to pay to put the crime right. It's just so unjust.
Yeah. And of course, it's the local council's responsibility to investigate this. And how much of a strain on resources? Do you have the resources? Do you have the capacity to deal with things like this, to investigate it properly?
Well, local councils have a tremendous pressure on the resources, as we've heard about farmers as well. That's nothing unusual, so it's choices all the time. So if this is getting done and we take this seriously and we have invested resources into it, it's something else at the council's activities that's not getting dealt with. So, yeah, it's a problem for all taxpayers and all residents, as well as farmers, as we've heard about.
And how much money do you put into things like investigating these sorts of crimes, and how much money do you get back when it comes to the courts, comes to the fines? Because as we're seeing, the national picture is that people really aren't getting that much financial punishment even when they are caught.
We successfully prosecuted 5 people last year, and the total amount we got in court costs was £7,500. It costs us about £150,000 to run our enforcement operation, investigation operations, so they're completely different magnitudes.
So you are just losing money just to do the bare minimum of the investigations that you can manage?
Yes, yeah. I wouldn't say it's losing money, but I know what you mean. Money is going out of taxpayers' pockets while it's going into the people who do this pockets, and that can't be right.
And how do you feel stood here this evening looking out at all of this mess in this farmer's field?
To be honest, depressed really. I mean, I'm depressed because of the impact on people's well-being and farmers' well-being, anyone who goes around these fields. But I'm depressed that this has been a long-standing national problem, and fundamentally, governments haven't gripped it. It needs the courts to be much stronger and provide a proper disincentive for people to do this. This, as you've said, is a professional operation done for money, and people are seeing it as a cost of doing business.
And Will, for you, last question, what needs to change? Is it local government? Is it national government? What's the answer here?
In my book, the real answer is that the judiciary need to stand up, and they need to fine these people. They need to take the penalties properly. There's up to 20 years in prison and a £50,000 fine. 95% of fines issued in 2023 were for less than £1,000. If you take the cost of a skip at £400 in this area, plus the clean-up, the fly tippers on the good money. They know they are. They're on a winner.
Is this effectively been almost decriminalised, this crime? It feels as though so many people can do it and just never get punished.
I think you could say that, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that how you feel as well?
I think it's the tragedy is that the cost of the crime falls on the landowner, falls on the land controller. Where it's on private property, the farmer will be prosecuted if he doesn't clear this up. And that makes him a criminal for being a victim of crime.
Well, listen, both, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it. And you heard there, of course, the side of two people, really, a farmer who is often the victim of this crime, these sorts of incidents, and the head of the local council who have to investigate these sorts of crimes. But we know, of course, they have a real lack of support and real struggles sometimes when it comes to the finances, when it comes to the resources, and actually being able to deal with it and investigate it properly.
Yeah, just so infuriating and seemingly unfair for all concerned, Rachel. Thank you very much indeed.